Hello, I'm Steve. This is the Patio Heat channel where we create visual concepts of infrared heating as well as tips for outdoor comfort. Our one-on-one customer support helps you make the best decision for your application. We strive to earn your business. Visit our patioheat.com website for sales and more information. Now let's get heating. All right, so here we have this residential application. Let's go right into the overall dimensions first of all. So we have about a 53-foot span here, and then we also have a 21.5-foot span over here. We have a ceiling height of approximately 10 feet off the ground, and we have a couple of different seating arrangements. We have a casual seating here. Now I arranged this in a way that I just thought might look okay. There's a dining space here. I don't know how large the actual table will be, but it might be in this orientation or it might be perpendicular to this. Also, there was a cooking kitchen area here. I added a bar stool seating to it as well. But it will be a kitchen area for sure. There is a barbecue area, and so they want to make sure that there's heat for that standing space itself. There's a doorway that swings out there, and there's a doorway over here. It swings inwards towards the home. And then we have another glass, I believe, door here that slides left and right, or it might be a accordion style door that does come out a little bit into the patio. I'm not 100% sure of that. I did not get any ceiling mounts, or what is going to actually be in the ceiling here. So I'm sure there is going to be some sort of lighting fixtures and or fans, something of that nature. So just bear that in mind. Now this overall space, I'm just going to go ahead and look at the overall space. I did cut out some of the spaces that can't be occupied, like the fireplace here. You can see I cut that out. Also, the physical bar countertop itself, I cut that out. You can see that if I remove this, whoops, let's see here, you can see that this is actually removed, and then so is this. And then I tried to move about 2 or 6 inches off of this edge here, so that we're not going to occupy 6 inches off the edge, I don't think. And that's true around the sides over here as well. So overall, though, we're looking at about 1,050 square feet of space that is possibly the area that they would like to heat up. So if I was to multiply that by a BTU demand, I would come up with approximately 13.4 6,000 watt units. 6,000 watt units are 20,000, almost 500 BTUs, so 20,400 and something BTUs of output. And also the installation height is very critical because I should mention these are infrared light waves, so it's actually like a light fixture. Light wave infrared will warm the human body up just like the sun does, and the higher it goes, the more intense you'll want to have the heater, as well as the wider the footprint of heat. So if I showed you, the footprint of heat here, if I actually brought the heater up another, say, 5 feet, then the beam itself will continue to travel through space until it actually penetrates mass, and then it absorbs into mass, that tables, chairs, floors, human body. But if it's another 5 feet up, it will keep on going until it does that again. However, the intensity is going to be far less at 5 feet further away than it is right here. So it's ideally at about 10 feet, the 6,000 watt unit. So that's where you come up with these BTU demand as far as BTUs per square foot. So now what else I did here was I was to mount the first unit here from this center position to the outer wall here. So that would be the center of the unit itself. And then I came up with a center of this opening here roughly, which then I came out 5 feet from there and 5 feet from there. So that's 10 foot center to center on each heater. And you can see with that, and let's see if I can put back the countertop there. And hold on one second. Sorry about that. There we go. Whoops. We don't need that on there either. So you can see here, though, that we have a really good coverage with the exception of just a little bit of area where the crossover ray isn't penetrating as well. Now, I would say that is fine. I mean, the light wave itself is bending and stretching and going further than what this ideal position that I'm demonstrating here in this image. So it does actually travel further out. It's just that its intensity isn't as much as you'd want it to be. But I think when you have two of these at 10-foot center to center, you're going to have plenty of heat between the two. And then you can see here, the only issue I can see is with this back section here. I really need an additional unit in order to heat up this space back here. So I'm getting about a 12-foot throw from this edge to this edge of heat throughout this whole space. Also, I should mention this being bar stool seating height. It's a little intense, a 6,000 watt unit, so you'd probably want to go with either a 4,000 or a 3,000 in this particular spot right here. And it'll give you the same footprint of heat. Again, you know, it's a light wave. It's the same dimensionally designed unit. It's just not as intense. And so if you're sitting at the bar stool height, you're closer to the heater than you would be at normal, you know, seating height. And so therefore your comfort level would be increased because you're closer to it. So you don't need a hotter unit like that. And same with standing in this environment as well. Going back to the fans and light fixtures, so you could actually have a light fixture within this span here. The only thing you can't have is something below the heater itself. So this below heater is 36 inches. This from the edge of the heater right here, not the mounting part of the bracket, but the heater itself is 18 inches out. 36 inches down, 18 inches around all four sides. That's the clearances you need to meet. So if you had a fan in the middle or a light fixture with a fan in the middle, that would be fine as long as you're meeting the clearances from those fan blades. Now, again, 10 feet minus 18 minus another 18. So you're at 7 feet of distance, I believe that might be. Yeah, and if your fan blades are metal, non-combustible, then they're okay if they're actually within the clearance area. Now, I would not put a steel fan in the actual ray because that will overheat it. And if it's made out of, let's say, aluminum, it'll probably eventually melt or start to degrade its capacity to stay, you know, to not bend and stretch. Let's just say it that way. All right, so let's see if there's anything else here. Also, you could use a control system, and that gives you a little bit of flexibility. So let's say it's a 65-degree day and you wanted just a little bit of heat, or let's say 75% heat, then you can turn the units up and down as you see fit, and then you can do them also on zones. So this would be a zone 1, zone 2, zone 3. Now going back to what I had mentioned, well, let me just go on this subject first here. Let's see. I want to talk about just the mounting of a flush mount kit. So you can see here the mounting is physically on the surface of this, I believe what's going to be tongue and groove. But if I took the tongue and groove and I actually pulled it down, let's just say, you know, a 3/4 depth here. So now you can see that my bracket is physically behind the tongue and groove, the actual mounting kit itself. And what I can do is I can come up to approximately, let's see here, I can come up all the way to this edge here and then reduce it 1/2 inch. So, oops, I'll try that again. There we go. And then same would be true on all sides here. And let's go here. We'll go up to the edge of the, these are the vents for vents just to allow the heater to cool as it's being operated. And we're gonna just move this all the way to the edge and then a 1/2 inch away from it. So you can see now that with this mount style, it looks much neater, and then, in my opinion at least, than this surface mount like this. But also we do need to do one other thing, which is to take the unit itself and let's see if I can do this correctly here. And we need to move the unit so that it is at the same elevation as the finish of the tongue and groove. So this height here needs to be the same as this height here. Also, I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but I'll just mention it one time again if I did, is that you know, I don't have the there's a steel rooftop that they have on here. I don't have the roof built in here, but you will need to make sure that the clearance is 8 inches from this edge to the ceiling itself, so that, you know, if the roof is sloped on this side, which I believe it is, that you are meeting that clearance, is, you know, that you can actually build this 1 hour drywall. It's a 3/8 or 5/8 drywall, I believe. You'll want to check that out. Yeah, this drywall is here, and you need at least a minimum of 8 inches on this side here in order for it to meet the clearances. So keep that in mind as well. All right, let's see if there's anything else here. Yes, there is. 2 more things I want to mention. So let's see. This might be also an option. Now I've moved the ceiling down here a little bit, so let me just move this unit and this unit down here so that it is approximately at the same height as the others. But these will be 5,000 watt units here. This is just in case you wanted to heat up the additional space here. You can see that with a 5,000 watt unit, this is 39 inches long, 61 1/4 inch long here. It's a little bit longer with the brackets itself, so don't go off of that number yet until you get the actual dimensions. But you can see the footprint is a tighter footprint. It's very intense, 5,000 watts. It's actually a little bit more intense than the 6,000 watt is because of its distance, but the footprint of heat is designed to be a little bit tighter. So this would be an additional, I believe I got 4 more units here because we have a spot here that we can't really fit one in. But that would give you more coverage, and that comes into the closer of the 13.4 units that I was speaking of before. And you can see how that actually helps it out. Then if you wanted to really, you know, heat up this back spot over here, then you can add an additional 2 more units, and then you'll have almost a total heated patio if you're looking to have that. So bear that in mind. And then one last thing I want to talk about is just you know, that this particular customer had mentioned something about the beam coming across here. So I think that would indicate there's a possibility of mounting the heaters on this bracket or around this outer perimeter. I just don't think that's good. Let me just go ahead and show you what I would say is the problem. Is you really still need that 4,000 watt unit. A 6,000 watt unit. A 6,000 watt unit would require 12 inches of clearance, number one. It has 6 inches of clearance on this side when you mount it at a 30-degree angle. And so that's one issue I see. And then the last issue I would see would be that the ray itself, when it shoots out here from an outer perimeter, you might be warm right here, but if you're the person in here, you're not going to be really that comfortable. Not to mention that you know, I like to have the heater overhead rather than off to the side, even though the manufacturer states that sometimes. They do have this flush mount kit, which is an overhead mount. It is a very popular mount, and I have never had a complaint with someone saying that it's, you know, too intense, especially if they have a control system or the proper unit overhead. But this here, you would only get proper heating right around here, because now the intensity is just really not proper for this outer edge here. So I usually say something in the nature of, if you drew a line straight down to the ground, you'll get about 8 foot throw out. That would be almost acceptable if you're 8 foot away from the heater itself. If you're here, you're fine, but over here you're not as good. So that's why I don't recommend this mount unless you're able to do that all around the entire perimeter, and then you got these heaters that are going to be shining or showing themselves down below the beam itself. So that is why I don't choose that. And I think that is about it. Let me just turn that off. And yeah, that is it. All right, well, I hope this has helped. If you are looking for some assistance with your outdoor heating application and you'd like us to review your plans, please send your information into designs@patioheat.com. I'm Steve. Please hit that like button. We don't advertise, we don't monetize. YouTube does not promote our channel unless we receive your thumbs up. And I do want to thank all of the subscribers I have. I'm kind of amazed that there is that many already for a channel that is really focused on individual applications. That's great. Thank you very much, guys, for being subscribers, and you all have a wonderful day.